Hey guys, it's Tape the Grape, and I'm walking up on a former road known as Springfield Avenue, or Springfield Road, whichever one. Now, that road still exists, but this is not a part of it anymore. This actually runs through, or became part of Anna Page Park. It has not been a road for traffic since at least the early 70s, I believe. There's a bridge, I'll show you more in a second. It goes down here. Now this road, as I stated, was formerly known as Springfield. That road still exists, but is now curved and does not run through the park. And even beforehand, it used to be called Daisy Field, way back probably from the late 1800s to at least the 40s, I would say. Now, of course, at the end of this video, I will show you some maps, some old maps and whatnot of this place, and current maps. But this is an old bridge, of course, that cars used to drive across. A lot of water I gotta miss. But it runs across North Fork, Kent Creek. And there's no way I'm not gonna be able to get in this water. Whoopsie. Whoops. But give me 1 second. Okay, so I made it to the short end of the road. Of course, the road used to go through the park, way down there, straight, way past those trees and beyond that, into what is still now known as Springfield Road, or Avenue, as I said, whichever one. But now this is a park, and, well, I'm going to walk the rest of this former road and show you what there is to see. Little bit of a backstory. I posted this on a Facebook group I'm in that has to do with this particular town, and people are saying, oh, they remember back in their childhood riding down this road in a school bus. So that just gives you an idea of what kind of road it was. Of course, it's sort of in the outskirts of town. I mean, still in town, but, you know, not as populated as downtown, you know, as most cities are. But anyway, so yeah. But of course now this is used as horse trails, part of the horse trails. Of course cement is not good for horse hooves, but you know what, instead of just getting rid of the road entirely, they're using it for that. But I'm gonna walk down this very long stretch and show you the very end. Let me show you more of the bridge first. Hard to see, but you can see this is kind of what the bridge looks like from the side. Nothing too fancy, but it got the job done for when it needed to be done. And on from the bridge, we follow the road down to where it ends. Of course, it's far, so I'm not going to record the whole way. But, oh yeah, well, I'll see you when we get there. Strangely enough, this looks to be like a more recent patch job of the road, which is odd because it's literally just in the center section. It's rough over there and rough behind me, so I don't know why. And it's also got a sanitary, it says a manhole cover, of course, probably for sewage, or, you know, probably, yeah. But let's continue on. Now, as I mentioned before, this was the former Springfield, and they curved it to the right, but you can't see it now, but the road curves to the right way over that way. And the newly built Riverside Avenue, a road that they had built in the 50s, that's what they wanted to connect it to. So it goes north, then it curves to the right, and then it heads east. Perhaps it was just easier to make it connected to the newly built road, who knows, but it's pretty neat. We can still see the remnants of the old road to this day. Now I'm on the final stretch now. There's the ending, as you may be able to see. And what I find really interesting is the fate of this road. It very well could have been left as Springfield and became maybe a neighborhood road, perhaps, even with just a few houses here and there on either side. But its fate ended up being an abandoned road now that is a horse trail. But up here, let's go check the beginning of the road, the north end of it. Now, I was mentioning the fact that this was a trail for horses, but I think more than anything, it's like a maintenance road, or perhaps if someone has an accident in the back portion of the park, it's a back entrance for an ambulance, or who honestly knows anything, really. But here's the north portion of the road, and this is Porter Road, of course, still being used to this day for traffic. And there's busy Kilburn Avenue, just to the right of it. Let's take a look. Of course, it's part of the park, so it's blocked off. No vehicle traffic, of course, unless it's maintenance vehicles. But this is the old abandoned, I can't really say abandoned, the forgotten about, I suppose, Springfield Avenue. Or road, as I said, whichever one. But now to make the long trek back, you can see my face is red because of the cold. But anyway, after this, you'll see some old and new maps of this road. Sky view, of course. But oh yeah. Now, as you can see here, this map is dated around the mid-40s from what I've researched. This is an old map that shows property lines and who owns them. But as you can see in the center, running north-south, Daisyfield Avenue. And the portion we walked is towards the top of the photo. Of course, you see the Kent Creek running through it, or across it, rather. At least in 2 different spots. Well, let's look at another map. Now, this photo is a real photo. It's not just a drawn map, but this is a slightly older photo, or from a slightly older time, from 1939. Running along the yellow line, as you can see, is the road. Right at the intersection at the bottom of the yellow line, that's still technically the intersection, but it curves to the right. And I will show you the new intersection. That's the same spot, pretty much. Again, the purple dot, as you saw on the other map, and this one, that's just where that bridge was. But now it runs along through the park, rather, and then Springfield Avenue is curved to the right. And you can see here at the bottom, Safford Road, where it kind of curves up to the right a little bit. Curves up, then back over. Same road right here, although it seems kind of slightly bigger on this side, but perhaps it's just because it's more zoomed in, I believe. But that's where we walked along, the north portion of this road that is no longer, and as you can see, you can still see it right here. But still interesting nonetheless. But anyway, this was my video on walking the forgotten North Springfield Avenue.